Ugh.
All right, we ready?
So we're going live. Wait,
All right.
It looks like this stream was deleted on Facebook. Okay, just remove Facebook. Let's go. Delete Facebook, and we'll do LinkedIn, and we'll do
What are we talking about?
Where we're gonna have where this will show up and where people can view it.
No.
okay. So
It's gonna be about you. Don't worry. I'm gonna.
it's all you. 3, 2, 1, Larry.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Big Idea Podcast. And boy, we are really excited this week. We've got one of the nicest, smartest ladies in the whole industry, Mandy Deveau. Had a fabulous time with Mandy in Tampa. We've become fast friends, and boy, does she bring a lot of value to dealerships. So without further ado, Mandy, tell these nice folks who you are and what you do and how you do it. And thank you so much for joining Gary and Mike and I.
Oh my God, that is some kind words. I appreciate that. I think you've oversold me. I come from the automotive space, and I'm really happy to call Drive HRIS home. Our company is actually called Dealer Pilot, but we have a HR software. So we help dealerships with all of their HR needs, as well as like recruitment, ATS, online learning, and whatever they need for their dealership to make it successful on the people side, as well as their health and safety. That's what we do. We have a great solution for them.
On the training side, that you're learning, are they learning management systems?
Yeah, so we have it built in, like we have several modules, and that's what kind of makes us different. Not only are we built specifically for automotive dealerships with an advisory team specifically dealing with automotive issues every single day, all of our modules are an all-in-one solution. So we have the ATS, so it's the applicant tracking, so they can go right in the system. So we help you put up your job posting. We make sure that everything's compliant to the industry standards and what legislation requires. Then you're able to push a button and do background checks. You're able to move people right over into the interview process and offer them a job. And then everything is just embedded workflows that just move them through the system. So you push a button, great, we want to hire you. Now they're an employee. Then you set them up in their onboarding process, and they're able to take their courses, whatever they need for their health and safety compliance is built right in. So there's no more having to go and get another third-party provider to get their courses.
Well, that's for certain. Anybody that's involved with a dealership realizes how key two of the words you said were, namely onboarding and compliance.
Yep.
Well, that's where I was going down the pathway of compliance. You're on the HR side, but you said that's software.
Yeah.
But now, when you also started talking about learning management systems from a compliance standpoint today, from the FTC, the dealerships are supposed to be doing learning management training on compliance. Do you get involved with that at all? When I talk about, when we talk about compliance, it gets thrown around in a bunch of different avenues. We're talking about compliance based on the government and how dealers handle consumer information. So handling consumer information needs to talk about compliance. And then if people are handling those tasks, they all need to go through training to understand the laws and understand the policies. And do you guys set those up? Or is that out of your, because I work with another company called ARMD, ARMD. And from the FTC standpoint and the compliance standpoint, they have a turnkey system that includes a learning management system that goes over all of the laws that go along with selling of a vehicle. That's not what you're in. That's a completely other compliance than what you're involved in.
Yeah. So it sounds like what you're talking about would be perfect for someone who's an F&I or someone who's like
But it's the law. I mean, the FTC has come up with a law
Yeah.
And it's been going around for years, and everyone seems to want to ignore it. But it says that your dealership has to have a compliant officer. There needs to be an employee that is dedicated with this responsibility for the dealership's organization. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be an F&I manager. It could be a vice president. So that's a major requirement per the FTC red flags and safeguard rules.
Yeah.
Now, included in there in the law, it says every dealership must have a learning management system to train the people to make sure that they understand and have documentation. His system does that, where it trains all the people. And that's the true, from an F&I side, compliance that we talk about. So when we talk about compliance, is that the customer's data is stored in private, secure databases, and that they need to go through sequences before they can consummate the deal. That's
Perfect. That
all.
totally makes sense. And that does sound like it's different than what we do, but I'll tell you how we kind of fit in. Oh, sorry. Don't
My
bark.
dog's starting to whimper behind me
I
myself.
saw that. I'm just
He
hoping
just
you don't.
shows up at the right time.
So,
Mike, could you also whimper a little? I just feel kind of left out in this scenario.
You don't want to
So-
hear me whimper.
so where we kind of come in is that we do have some courses as well, like for the money laundering and different things like that, where say all employees technically should be taking that. So if
Right.
anyone has any access to any kind of money at any time, so say you have the lot attendant who needs to use the credit card to put gas in, so everyone should be taking that course.
It's a
So we're
training class.
able through our LMS to be able to offer those kind of courses, but we're thinking more the health and safety or like anything that's more HR related. So like workplace violence,
Understand.
all of that
Right.
stuff. However, the one thing that we can do is if you have a service like that where you're really trying to get on top of all of those courses,
Well, it's all the compliance laws around
yes,
consumer lending and
we can take any certification that is created by those outsourced courses that if we don't offer it already, then we're able to upload those certifications into our system and have the reminders for the auto renewals and things like that. So we're able to help manage that stuff.
So when I worked with Universal Underwriters in Zurich, they would do the property and casualty, but then everybody had to take the sexual harassment classes.
Yes.
And so those were systems that, the agencies out there manning the dealerships want to make sure that dealers are trained and they're doing everything. And your part of the industry is probably going to get very, very busy, or it's already very, very busy, because they want it done right. They don't want and now, I mean, we're watching it. We're seeing local dealers that have done bad things to their customers, and they've lost their love. So dealers need to start getting back on and changing how they've been doing business. It's all about doing it now the right way, and
Karen,
people,
and not only doing it wrong, just doing it carelessly.
Yeah.
If I told you how many dealerships I see driver's license sitting on, man, you get somebody from the government in there, you just made a heck of an
they're
expense.
hung. That owner will end up probably going out of business, being bankrupt if a government walks in. They're up to $53,000 per. So I mean, they're not messing around.
That's how we help as well with our advisory team. If there's an issue where someone walks in and someone's kind of flubbed and they've done that and there's an issue, then we're able to help support and guide them through what are their next steps and how to do those things. And honestly, when we talk about these things, it really makes me flash back to when I was selling cars. And just like this is years ago, like 15 years ago. And I remember just having my top drawer and I had a bunch of papers in there and there was licenses because I was very disorganized. But I think about how I was doing it and I know not much has changed. So I can only imagine that there's a lot of risk that's out there right now. But to get to your point, about how they're doing things every day and treating their customers, I think it also comes back to they're doing the same thing with their employees where they're being a little bit careless. And I have had a lot of conversations where I've seen a lot of dealerships that are trying better to improve their culture. They're trying to improve their retention, but they're just listening to kind of what everyone's saying on social media, like, oh, let's give them more motivation, let's give them rewards, let's do whatever. Some of those things, sure, are important and will get people feeling good for a day. But I think overall, going back to how dealerships are serving their customers as well as their employees, they need to consider what they're doing every day. They need to remove the friction that they're putting on themselves every day and try to take better actions every day in all elements of their dealership, so that way they can improve that, build back the love and the buy-in from their customer, build the retention and the culture within their own dealership with their employees.
Tie a process in with appreciation for a customer.
Yeah.
I would imagine those same people that are resistant, they're the same people that don't want to talk about AI, and they want to ignore. They want to put their head in the sand and say AI, schmai, and AI. As we're seeing, we're watching it under our. It's amazing, and it continues to give us tools that we never knew that we could use. And in a dealership, we don't want to get rid of anybody, but certainly if you're not going to cooperate, they're either going to find somebody to cooperate or they're going to let somebody else handle that task. And so with employee, I would say this year, if smart dealers should be looking to keep their employees happy and help them, because they're the face of the dealership, especially now that we're seeing what's going on with social media. Social media, everyone's talking about where you need to be. I love it. I always mention Toothman Ford, J.R. Toothman Ford, one of their sales guys. You know, he posts, and they draw from all over the place. They live in a small town of like 4,000 people, but they're like celebrities and doing all the right things on social media. JR serves the local hospitals. He gives back to all the community. And
That's
so his
so
sales,
important.
and it seems to be the importance is, that's one of the hot buttons today, is that dealers need to learn how to own their 20-mile radius. And just like the OEMs expected them to do that in the 70s. So now it's tools of building your salespeople, building yourself in the local community, and being back to the basics. And all this other AI stuff, you're going to use it in various marketing and how to handle tasks, but it's still people. And you get 6 or 7 dynamic salespeople on the floor with a couple of good sales managers and an F&I manager. The local communities love them. Everyone buys their cars, they come back, and that's how you build your brand. So
It sounded like Mike was trying to jump in there earlier.
I thank you for that, Gary. Yep, kind of Toothman is a great example. When it comes to Mandy, your approach on different the different dealerships, different rooftops, different principals, different general managers, do you have kind of I call it a lead magnet that is so enticing and not necessarily cheap, but inexpensive, between $50 and $500 that you can give away, that will lead you on to the trust trigger kind of items or the core items, but developing that authority, credibility, and trust that they need to have with a relationship with you. What's that first thing that you can approach them with that goes, these guys are serious. Okay, we need to talk to them further. Do you have anything like that?
So for us, like on the marketing side, we don't put anything out there too much that's actually low ticket. However, we with our advisory team, we are award winning. They're incredibly well seasoned women from the automotive space. One of our HR advisors actually used to be a GM for a dealership. So we do have people who are well versed in the space, dealing with issues that dealerships really need to encounter every day. So the knowledge is exceptional. So what we do is we offer to the general, population. They don't have to be customers. So anyone who's interested and really needs our services, um, Sandra, who is our lead advisor, offers a monthly webinar. And it's not a sales pitch. It's literally half an hour where she's going to teach you concepts, strategies, what's working now, what are the problems she's hearing regular dealerships facing every day, and how they're overcoming it. And then she does a Q&A at the end. So that's like
Those are
the
very
biggest thing that we
valuable.
do. We really have the mindset of coming to market to serve. So we have lots of content, white papers, articles, and with each one of those webinars that we do, we offer a workbook to go along with it with the replay. So it's not like we're not trying to get anything out of anyone. We're truly here to serve and help dealerships to improve and how they're serving their customers and how they're serving their employees.
The money is in the list. Build that
Yeah.
list.
Yeah,
Great
exactly.
stuff.
Now, I know you're primarily based in Canada. How are you transitioning through to American dealers? Because I know that's a big target for you, and I know you're going to bring tremendous value.
Yeah, so we are looking to implement some new strategies where we're able to connect with more people directly. We truly believe in building relationships and just talking, making sure that we are providing value, and we just want people to see us as an authority. So we're putting value out there instead of constantly pitching through our content. If you look at everything that I've written in the last year, you'll see that I don't just say, hey, buy, drive, buy, drive. I talk about the problems and try to bring solutions forward. But we are growing in the States, and we do have quite a few auto groups down there, but we do want to expand. And that's something that I think we'll see happen in the next 2 years.
We got to make you into a snowbird.
Yeah, I would be a snowbird in a heartbeat. And then Larry would have to come down with me and we'd reminisce at Five Guys.
I'm in.
Yes.
The woman knows how to talk my language.
Right.
By the way, I don't mean to undercut your company, but I'm thinking of adding an HR division to Career Changers. It would be a one-page document that said, whatever you're doing, stop doing it. Because it seems like every damn thing they do is wrong.
I think that's a general statement. I do think there are some exceptions and some outliers. I've heard some pretty cool people and been able to chat with a lot of people over the last year as I traveled to different events across the country. But it takes a different mindset, and it takes someone who's willing to not fall back on the this always worked. And it's people who are scared to try something different, or people who are scared to make a mistake. Like that, those are people who really struggle. And people who you need to spend money to make money is also a very common phrase that I think that is accurate. So years ago, when I first moved over into marketing out of car sales, I was doing marketing for an automotive dealership. And to go back to what we were just talking about with Gary, we increased their sales by 76% in a very short time. And I'd say the one thing that I could attribute to that success is we got back in the community. So it was during COVID times and nothing was going on anymore. And we said, you know what? Come to our lot. We're going to host some stuff outside. We don't care. And so people started showing up. People started learning who worked there. And they had an incredible reputation for service that no one knew about. So for us to be able to put that forward and just get involved with the community, people started talking about it and their sales went up. Like, it's really just putting yourself out there, not being scared, and really just putting that effort in and building a relationship with your community. Number one, that's going to make a huge difference.
And I can tell you folks, anybody listening to this, that you often hear people talk about culture and how they're trying to do the right thing. I know Mandy very well, and I know Drive HRIS. She doesn't just talk it; she walks it. She's smart enough to understand that if you do bring enough value, you attract people. See, we salespeople make this mistake all the time. They kiss all the wrong butts. Oh, yeah. The owner, his name's on the check. He's still not paying you. He's the middle person handling the money. The focus always has to be on our customers, our communities, ways that we can make it clear, I'm the person you want to do business with because I'm very glad to do business with you. Reciprocity should be an automatic thing in the car business. But for some odd reason, we seem to fail to grasp that sometimes.
Well, but we see that there are plenty of dealers trying to move towards that space, showcasing their people. And I would think that, now in 2026, the focus is running a successful operation from top to bottom. And with that is you need to have all oars in the water together, in a good, solid HR team with things that are addressing and people can communicate. It's a necessity. We know that they're chaotic environments. And years ago, we used to always say there needed to be a new management title in the dealership. It was the in-house therapist. So when the parts department guy's ready to kill a technician, you send them to the therapist, and they got to go spend time to learn how to figure out how to get along. And some dealerships tolerate that, but the good ones, they're not tolerating any of that anymore, which is good to see, because we want to do business with good dealers that want to do business locally in the community. And when you go to these dealers and you see how they're operating, and you were like, you got a lot of work ahead of you before the community is going to want to come back to do business with you. And you need to start looking inside. I mean, it's your face of your store, the face of your people, what you do. And the local people talk, and you burn the wrong people in a local community, you're out. They're not going to buy cars.
You are so on point. If your internal community isn't good, if it's not a happy place to work, if people don't feel connected and listened to, how are they ever going to make the people outside feel that way?
It's when the service advisor, they got them in a cold place and they're always yelling at them because nothing's ready. I mean, that's not a good place no one wants to work in those environments. And smart dealers, though, the Greater Hartford dealer, I've been in a lot of stores in the Greater Hartford this last couple of days, and the family-owned operations, they get it, and they're giving back to the communities, and they're supporting the local Little League teams, and that's where that's where it is. It's going right back to the 70s, the values that they had, and those dealers are going to win.
So Abdul's just commenting that during his career, they had to attend quarterly meetings that involved all these things. But, it's interesting. You can go to a lot of websites and you don't see pictures of the people. I still see dealerships as much as I preach.
I hate that.
Sales service meetings. So they're not building their internal community, once again, which makes it hard to pull in your external community.
Right. You see the websites, and the websites says page under construction. And it would be, well, no, people want to see who's working there. All you got to do is do a headshot and a little bio, and you're in business. And when they neglect those kind of things or not have emails to contact, I mean,
they know how to do it. It's just being lazy, or there's so much turnaround.
Well,
that's the real one.
Yeah, they can't keep a staff.
Well, the turnover has been a plague forever, and it's because you had to prove yourself. No one wants to prove themselves every day. They want to work, but teach me, help me. Don't put me on the hot seat that if I don't sell a car and I don't do 8 this week or this month, that they're going to can you. I mean, that's not an environment that you want to live and work in.
Did you guys read automotive news this week? There was a big article that they believe that most of the turnaround in the industry is because people don't hire Larry Feldman to recruit and train.
Oh my God, I love it.
I would say that's a big problem.
That's a solution.
I got to promote myself and make a plan to take you back to Five Guys. Mandy, we're living large on a Friday.
Yeah,
hey listen, we keep it short so more people can get the viewing time in. Listen, if you're not compliant, if your HR doesn't help people onboard properly, you're in huge trouble. And I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. Deal with anybody that has dealt with Mandy or her company, Drive HRIS. You just can't do any better. And let me tell you why. She cares. Okay, it's very nice to talk about algorithms and all these other things, but when you meet Mandy, in about 8 seconds, you realize she cares. That's why it's so easy for her and her company to put things out of value that don't immediately bring money in. because they're smart enough to understand that if they build a great community, the external community will get drawn in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about removing friction within your dealership, and there's lots of tools out there to do that, and that's what we do. We help on the HR, building your culture, building your employee retention, making sure everything's compliant. We reduce the risk. It's really removing the friction and doing that, taking those steps every day to do that, I think is how dealerships are going to win.
Cool. Obviously, we have our information below. You just can't do any better for your HR and your compliance than reaching out to this wonderful lady. And again, the added bonus that if you lure her down to the States, I can meet her somewhere. We can go to Five Guys. I should get a sponsorship with Five Guys. I'm there.
Yes, they should definitely be
Mike,
fun.
Garrett, you don't know her as well as I do. She's just great. But any other thoughts or comments, gentlemen or lady?
Mike?
Yeah, you mentioned the law of reciprocity. That's so rated G. I'll take it to PG. It's gas. You got gas. You got to give a shit. Okay.
Oh my God, I love it.
So I just made this from Disney to rated PG.
You
Sorry,
made it
guys.
interesting.
I'd put him in his place, Mandy, but he looks so handsome wearing his career changers hat that I'm reluctant to be. All right, we of course we bent out our compliance at the end, but we still love Mike Larkin.
I'd like to just kind of local community, building back your family inside your store. So I'm going to give myself a plug. I just put a deal together with USA Today, the big newspaper, and they have a program called Local IQ. And Local IQ is the anti-Car Guru, Auto Trader, all the big players, and we're helping dealers reduce their cost on their marketing and starting to own the 20 miles around their dealership. Very excited, looking forward to helping many dealers sell new cars and used cars in the greater Hartford market. And I'm very excited about that. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
We don't want to leave Mr. Larkin out. Mr. Larkin is jumping over mountains with his AI products. I've used them. And once again, HR compliance, you just can't do any better than dealing with Mandy. So Mandy, boy, was it a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Larkin and Mr. Silman, we look forward to seeing you, and just stay in touch. And we definitely want to have you back on to hear how you're transitioning to the States. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
That will be part 3, Mandy. Part 3.
Yes.
Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm. We'll see you soon.
Bye.